everybody and welcome back to the channel. We are back in the fly-by-wire A380. It has been a little while since we've given it some love. I say a little while, it's been about a week. So I thought we would take it on a small-ish flight from here in Dubai up to Glasgow. It's about 7 hours of flight time. But yeah, we've got this new livery downloaded from flightsim.to. I've had to start recording this in the middle of what I thought was already recording because of an issue with the way in which I was recording it. I don't know. I'm glad I noticed it now, so I'm a bit uncertain as to what happened. But all I've done is get the overhead panel set up. We've got the fuel and payload loaded in. The flight plan has been loaded in. We have also got the new SimBrief dispatch in the sim, which is going to allow us to see the flight plan and takeoff performance calculations within the sim as well if it actually decides to load. There it goes. So you can see we've got the flight plan here, and you can see we are all good to go. Anyway, we can look at that later. I'm going to go down to the FMS. I had just put the company flight plan in, so we're going to insert that. Oh, which I've clicked it again by accident because I'm silly. Anyway, IRSs they are aligned, so we can close that and return. I'm just going to insert that again to not have any issues. I'm going to put the flight number in again, which is Emirates 27. Yeah, OMDB, EGPF, that's fine, that's all fine. Departure, we are out of runway 30 right according to the flight plan. And we are on, let me just double check. Scroll down a bit. Scroll down, is this one. There is no transition, we can go and insert that. We'll put the Glasgow arrival in, why not? At the moment we are planning for runway 23. And we are on the ILS 23, and we don't need a transition or a VIA. We are on this one, I believe, so we can insert that. I will we have a little look to make sure that's somewhat correct. Yeah, let's do it. We can move this over to the plan page. Go all the way through, just double check for discontinuities, which we should be okay. Maybe the arrival might have one or two to sort. You can see we have a few. There we go, there's a discontinuity there. Let me zoom this out a little bit. And down a bit more. So yeah. We'll go direct. I think how we'll do this, since again we're not on VATSIM, I think we'll go direct from Haven, just for a bit of a better cut at the approach. So we'll delete Lanark. If it's going to let me anyway. Is it going to let me? Oh, do I need to do this one at a time? Of course I do. And then get rid of TLA and insert, and that will give us a bit of a, it's still a good right angle, but it's not as bad as it would be otherwise. That's boarding finally complete. I was hoping that was going to help with the FPS, to be honest with you, because it's quite horrendously laggy. Oh, in fact that is frame generation had enough, bear with me. That should have sorted the frame gen. There we go. It's actually what I've literally lowered the terrain level of detail by 5 there, like one setting swipe, and it's made it a lot less laggy. So maybe the frame generation was just completely out of sync actually. Anyway, back down to the FMS because we've still got plenty to do. So back to the init page, we've done a departure, nav aids, we can leave. Fuel and payload, so our zero fuel weight, this is where I could do it via the toolbar here. I find it's a little bit slow, obviously, especially if you've got it on another screen. You can just like move your head and see it, but for the purposes of this at the moment, just to show you it getting used, really, we will use it. We are, if you view the flight plan, It can come down. So our zero fuel weight, estimated zero fuel weight is 350.3, and our block fuel is 102.3. So 350.3. So 350.3, and I've already forgot the block fuel, but it's okay because it's down here. 102.3, 102.3. The ZFW CG we can get from the EFB. It is 34.2. So it is 34.2. There we go. We can come out of that. We can go to takeoff performance next. So that's where we will use the dispatch tool, because it's going to be quite handy for this, for you to be able to see it, because obviously the EFB does not have one. So we're going to go to performance and tools, I believe. Takeoff performance. So we're in the A380. I use the fly-by-wire airframe. So we can go airport. We are at OMDB. It's 30 right that we're using. We can populate the weather. Our weight. Now, is this total weight? I believe it is. So our total weight is 451.6. 451,600. I don't know if it will take that. Let's try it. Populate the weather we've done. We can go calculate. So flaps 1, 66, 44, 57, 62. 44, 57, 62. 144, 157, 162. We were flexing to 66 degrees Celsius. There we go, and we're looking for 40.0 on the THS, whatever it. I still haven't looked up what this actually means. There we go. Packs are on, anti-ice is off, and that is the takeoff performance sorted. So with that, I'm going to get the APU started, because it's just about time to get going. So we can put APU on and start switch on. We can zoom right in to the map here. We can ask GSX to prepare us for pushback and departure, which is going to ask me to close the doors, which is fine. Services, cargo door can close. Have a little look outside. Look at this aircraft, it just looks stunning. It is such a nice aircraft. Just having a look at my charts a little moment. Sorry, oh good, GSX is ready for us. So we want to be going, it will be southeast. I will release the parking brakes if my APU is ready to go, which it is. So parking brakes can come off. So back we go. I don't want the frame gen issue to happen again, so I'm just hoping that the view changes don't give it a bit of a riot. Anyway, oh, I've not done the pressure. I've cheated and I've done it by pressing B. It's 1013 anyway, which is fine. Cool. We can also put our initial altitude in. We can put that to, we'll just go straight up to 360, why not? Doing things all a wee bit backwards again. Classic chilled simming stuff. Anyway, beacon light on, engine start switch to ignition, APU bleeds on, signs are on. Let's get engines 4 and 3 started, and let's give it a little listen, shall we? That sounds like we've got some good engine starts, which we do. So with that, 2 and 1 can get started. Parking brakes are set. Transponder is not on, which is not happy about. I'll put it on TARA, which is fine, just so that it's got it. And back to FMS. We go to the performance page there. We have N1 coming right up now. We have available, which is amazing. There's the air conditioning, which we desperately need here in Dubai. So with that, we can put the engine start switch back to normal. The APU can come off, APU bleed can come off. We can file the taxi light on. We can put the runway turn offs on. We can go flaps 1. I do love the sounds of the flaps. Yeah, I love it. I love it. The wing seems very bright. I don't know if this is an HDR issue. I'm not sure. Okay, so with that, we have flaps 1 set. We can do our flight control check in the flight deck so we can see all of the movement. You can see all of the green bars coming up as we would expect. We could do the trim, so we're expecting 40.0, so let's dial that in. There we go, that is dialed in. We can go auto brake RTO. We can arm the ground spoilers, and I think with that we can get this show on the road and start our taxi up to 30 right. Let's get this show on the road. I'm going to also start SkyDolly before I forget. It would help if you release the parking brake. There we go. We're off. So we'll come straight off of Zulu and we'll head on to Kilo. That is taxiway Kilo. We'll also do the takeoff config test so that it's happy. You can definitely feel the weight of this thing as you try to taxi it around. I find it incredibly difficult to steer. Come on. There we go. So I've got a nice straight line for a bit now, so let's get this thing rolling. The takeoff config test did not want to work. There we go, normal. Excellent. So let's get this taxi on the road down to 30 right. Okay, so we are approaching Kilo 12, which is where we're going to cross runway 30 left to get onto 30 right. So we will just swing the aircraft round. There we go. So we are just crossing this runway, but we can put the landing lights on since we're crossing a runway, and the strobes on as well. But we'll just leave them on because we don't have traffic on, so we will just be going straight back across, or straight for takeoff. Come on. I don't have traffic on because it's too laggy, but we look like we're clear either way. So we can ding the cabin, why not? Ding ding. Here is 30 right. Clear on the right again, we'll just say anyway. And I don't think we'll hang about, I think we'll just do a rolling takeoff if I don't stop the aircraft. We will put the range back off the taxi charts so that we can follow the flight director better. Flight director is on. Lined up on the runway, let's just go for it. Let's spool the engines up a little bit. And flex. Man flex, SRS and runway. There's 100. V1. Rotate. Gentle rotation. There's positive rate, gears coming up. Try and follow the flight director. Nav. I think we've got a speed constriction of 180 knots, so we're just going to probably absolutely bomb up until we come out of this speed restriction. As you can see, we've got 4,500 feet per minute at the moment. Over to the right a bit, still hand flying it, why not? Speed restrictions up to 190, it's a little bit bumpy. Autopilot 1. After takeoff we can put the ground spoilers to the off position. We're going to wait for the flaps at the moment until we get a bit more speed. Nose light can come off. We're going to do an open climb to our cruising altitude of 360. So we're going to be limited there we go, there's our speed acceleration now. So as we pass through 200 we'll bring the flaps up. It feels like quite a long time to have the flaps down actually for a takeoff. Let's watch it. Flaps up. See the last of the slats coming back in there. And that is why, because you'll see the how close we are to certain speeds. We can set standard pressure once, twice, 3 times. 10,000, and we're going to accelerate now. So lights can come off. You can put the signs to auto now. And there is the acceleration. We can zoom all the way out in the map because we have about 7 hours to go. I never started the clock because I always forget, so we'll start it now. And yeah, we are off up to Glasgow. But yeah, this is where I shall love you and leave you. And I will see you in the descent down into what is probably a much cloudier Glasgow in Scotland. See you then. Good evening, welcome back to the flight deck of the fly-by-wire A380. On the descent then into Glasgow, the sun is going down again. I feel like every flight we do at the moment ends in a sunset, but it looks good. We can't complain on that front. But yeah, just passing through flight level 130 at the moment. We're going to set the ground pressure, which I will just double check. Is 1027 hectopascals, so we will dial that in. That's set on both sides. We can put that in on the standby as well. 1027. Boom. We're just going to assume that we've been cleared to our final altitude, so through transition level, so we're just going to stick that in. In terms of the landing, we will use auto brake 2, which should be plenty to stop us. And yeah, bit been in the air for 7 hours. Well, we started it late, so we've been in the air for 7 hours and 10 minutes roughly. We were scheduled for 7 hours and 11 minutes, so a little bit over schedule, but not too bad. We had a nice healthy tailwind in the latter part of the flight there, which was able to get us motoring along nicely. Look at that sun. Wrong side. Oh yes. But yeah, we're basically straight in until we hit the turn for the localizer. I have already put the performance into the FMS, FXC. The wind's not totally favourable. Again, similar to one of the last flights I've done. The wind's 040. The wind's now actually 080 at 4, but they are still landing on runway 23. 080 at 4. Just going to stick that updated information in. And we're still 1027 and it's still 12 degrees. So yeah, this wind isn't entirely favourable for a runway 23 landing, but that is what they're using in real life still, so I guess that's what we're going to use just now. So we're just passing through 10,000, we can get the lights on, get these signs on as well. I'm also going to, while I remember, to start SkyDolly. Hopefully it's working. You know, it's a bit temperamental sometimes. So yeah, I haven't been sitting beside the aircraft as it's done the flight, but it looks like it's been a fairly smooth flight, no hiccups. The VNav on the descent, as always, is a little bit all over the place. Like, it does a bit of chasing the VNav profile. I mean, at one point I did have us descending at like nearly 7,000 feet per minute to try and catch up with the VNav, but obviously the plane is still in very early alpha, so that is that kind of thing can be expected and forgiven, of course, and of course it is a freeware aircraft at the end of the day, so can't really complain in most events. But yeah, smooth flight. It's a relatively calm day down in Glasgow. It's just a bit cloudy, as you can see. It's a little bit stuttery, but I find that is just the case in the A380. It's difficult to run, so it's a little bit stuttery, but it's okay. We can deal with it. We can deal with it. So just coming up in 20 miles from our turn on to the localizer. It's a nice easy straight in approach. We can basically just take in the scenery. Do love a good bit of cloud surfing. You cannot beat it. In real life and in the sim, when the clouds look so good as the sun comes down on yet another day. I'm going to try not to switch between the views too much to try and prevent the frame generation stuttery issue that comes when you do that. It's quite a slow, steady descent now. So yeah, just coming up on 10 miles now for the turn on to the final approach. You can also see the weather's in here as well. I never actually realised that. Yeah, so just confirming off that, we've got 1027, yep, 12 degrees Celsius, yep, and 080 at 4, 080 at 4. Excellent. So we are getting fairly close to the localizer, so I'm going to arm the localizer. We're going to put the landing system on. I'm going to put it on both sides, why not? So you can see we are slightly below the glide slope, which is what we want. I'm actually going to vertical speed this to try and get us a bit of a smoother descent. Hopefully a continuous descent at that is the hope. As we start bursting through some clouds here. Can probably reduce that descent rate even more. Say 400, 300, we're going to hit 2,900, which is the final speed anyway. Yeah, we've hit that now. I'm just going to activate approach mode.
2,500.
Confirm. Just to get that speed starting to come back down, hopefully. We should catch the localizer any second. Famous last words. Localizer screen, there we go. We're going to go flaps 1. I don't think we're going to need the speed brake, so we're going to arm the ground spoilers. Flaps 1 set.
1,000.
We don't need to worry about the GPWS because it is just the hills that we're over. As you can see, it's starting to go up now. The glide slope's now active. We can arm approach. We'll stick with flaps 1 for now as the plan. You can see the runway just over there. Localizer's green, that's fine. Waiting for glide slope.
$2,500.
There's glide slope. We can put both autopilots on for the moment. We'll leave it running at 180 at the moment, 8 miles out. In fact, I think we'll go flaps 2. Missed approach is to climb to 3,000, so we'll set that there. And climb straight ahead at the runway heading, so we'll just put 230 at the moment. There's 6 miles, we will go. Gear down, flaps 3. Waiting for 5 greens. 5 greens. Flaps full. You can see we actually do have a bit of a crosswind, despite the surface wind being at 080. Flaps full is green. Ground spoilers are armed. We can turn the nose light on. So we've got landing, no blue. Well, we go autopilot off then. Autopilot off, I have control. Let's see how we go. Because it is fairly windy. Well, I say that, it's actually calmed right down now.
1,000.
You cannot beat a sunset arrival. I mean, it looks incredible. Whoa, there's a bit of sinking there. We're a little bit over to the right, but nothing that they can't correct. In fact, we can start trying to bring it back. There we go. Little bit high, nothing we can't fix again. As we pass over the River Clyde. Try and keep it stable. Oh.
100 above. Minimum.
Landing. Little bit all over the place here.
50. 40.
I'm going to idle the throttles a little early.
20. 10. 5.
Slammed it into the ground as always, because you always forget how high up the aircraft actually is when you're sitting here. Reverse is green, decel. There's 100. $60.
Auto brake off.
Yeah, we've absolutely slammed that into the ground there, but it's okay. I always forget that you sit fairly high up in this, so like like 10 feet feels like it comes up on you really quick and you haven't flared early enough, but that's the fun of the aircraft. Welcome to Glasgow. I'm just going to get the APU started. Landing light off, strobe light off, turn offs off, taxi light on. We can go speed brakes back in, flaps can come up. Swing it around. Nicely done. APU is available already, we can put the bleed on then. It's gate 30 we're looking for at Glasgow, which is going to say it's too small, but at gate 30, I mean it's saying 29, but it's gate 30. Gate 30 is what is used at Glasgow for the A380. I'm just going to stop SkyDolly on the other screen. There we go. Yeah, that felt like the actual approach was okay. Little bit sinky at times, but it was fun. All part of the fun. Another successful flight in the A380. I can actually just stop the clock. It's 7 hours 20. It was probably more like 7 hours 25 if you include the me forgetting to start the clock on the takeoff roll. Just going to take the taxi light off as we come round, so as to try not blind the marshaller. Spool up the left hand side throttles to try and help us round this corner here. And we're swinging right round again onto gate 30, which I'm just going to start swinging round now. And bring in some engine 1 and 2 thrust just to help push us round here. Maybe taking that a little bit too tight, but nothing that we can't correct. Famous last words. My parking in this aircraft leaves a lot to be desired. It always sends you far too far forward here. Like, yeah, like, there's no way we go any further forward here. I mean, we could take it to the line, why not? Take it to the line. And we'll leave her there. Parking brake on. And we can kill 1, 2, 3 and 4. Up to the overhead panel, we can request deboarding. I'm totally lost my train of thought here. The seatbelt signs can come off. The beacon light can come off. All the fuel, that's not the right button. All the fuel pumps can come off. There is a few. There we go. We can kill the APU because we have external power. We can open the doors for GSX. And yeah, welcome to Glasgow and the A380. A nice, well, I was going to say quick, it was 7 hours, it's not the quickest flight in the world. But yeah, nice landing and approach in the with the sunset there. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed another flight in the A380. It's one of those ones where I feel like I kind of need to be in the mood to fly it. I need to change my sim settings when I fly it to try and get it to not be quite as laggy compared to other aircraft, and the throttle setup's a little bit different, so I feel like I kind of need to be in the mood to fly it, but it is a cracking aircraft, there's no doubt about that. But yeah, I want to thank you again very much for watching. If you have any recommendations or places you'd like to see me take any aircraft in the sim, feel free to let me know and we'll see if I can organise it. There will be no promises, but I can always try my best. But yeah, in the meantime though, if you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to do so. It does really help and I would appreciate it. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you very much for watching and I will catch you in the next one. Cheerio!